Today is the Trump administration's deadline for other countries to make their best offers to avoid more summer tariffs. But already, the effects are draining a critical American industry. New reporting that California's iconic wineries are just barely breaking even, with higher import prices on everything from barrels to corks. It's an industry that, as a whole, the National Association of American Wineries estimates could generate $323 billion this year. That's a lot of money pumped into the economy. Joining me now, Victor Owen Schwartz, owner of Wine Importers Vos Selections in New York. His lawyer, Jeffrey Schwab, worked with Vos Selections to sue the Trump administration. I'm glad to have both of you here. Victor, so you work with a lot of different winemakers, a lot of different wineries. What's the current status of the wine business as a result of what's happening with tariffs?
Well, if you look at the news reports already, wine has been on the decline. Wine sales are lower from every country. Then you put the tariffs on top of that, and it's more misery than anybody wants to deal with.
So let me talk, Jeffrey, about the case. I know your case is currently paused for appeal. With such urgent stakes for small businesses, what's the realistic timeline for potentially getting relief from these tariffs?
Well, we did win in the Court of International Trade. The Court of Appeals has put a temporary stay on the injunction that the Court of International Trade imposed, and we will currently respond to the government's motion to stay pending appeal during the entire appeal. And the government will have to respond by next week. And we hope that the Court of Appeals will issue a decision on the stay by late next week.
Give us the basis of your argument that you're making.
Well, that the president does not have the authority under the Constitution to impose tariffs. Congress does. And so if the president wants to impose tariffs, he has to get authority from Congress. The president says that the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, or IEPA, gives him that power, but that statute does not say anything about tariffs. And furthermore, it restricts its power to emergencies that are in unusual or extraordinary circumstances or situations. And the justification in our lawsuit, we challenged the Liberation Day tariffs, the so-called Liberation Day tariffs. The justification is a trade deficit. That's not an emergency, it's not unusual, and it's not extraordinary.
So, Victor, most wineries are not part of a big conglomerate, right?
No.
These are small family operations or individually owned operations. I'm sure the majority of your clients are these folks. What are they telling you? I mean, running a family farm, and some people don't think of it that way, but growing grapes is farming, has always been a fraught business. It's tough. It's hard. They're not huge, not huge margins. So what are they telling you about this?
Well, first of all, there's just so much confusion and misinformation. And I think that's maybe part of the strategy of the administration. So I get emails from, wineries all over the world that I'm working with. And are the tariffs on? Are they off? What is the amount? So there's all the confusion and uncertainty to start with. They're going to be impacted. It's not going to come out of their pockets, let's be clear. I'm going to pay the tariffs and then, of course, passing that on to the consumer. So everyone is concerned about the contractionary impact this is going to have. We have to buy less if we're going to pay the tariff, right? We have to have less inventory to pay for the tariff. We have to be less we have to be more risk averse, if I would. We're in a naturally risky business, working with small family farms from a lot of places you haven't heard of, and we're trying to promote their wines. We're not going to be taking the same level of risk. We can't afford to. This is, we don't have the cash flow now.
You're a typical situation of a successful business. You started with 2 people, right?
Yep. Yeah, my mom.
You and your mom. Okay.
Me and my mom, yeah.
Now you have 20 employees.
Yeah.
Are they nervous? What's been the impact on them?
I try to communicate with them daily because the situation can change daily.
Literally daily.
Daily. And our customers also, they really are not very aware of all the machinations and all the changes that have been going on. I imagine that they're a little on edge, and my job as leader is to keep them calm and let them know that we're doing our best. Through Trump tariffs 1.0, and through the COVID, we managed to hold on to all of our employees, which I think is really great. They know I have their backs, but this is really an existential threat.
So, Jeffrey, what are you watching for next? And I know there are other lawsuits involving other industries that make similar arguments to what you made, which is, again, baseline. This is not the president's purview. It is the congressional purview. Are you optimistic about the eventual outcome of this?
We're very optimistic. We think that the Trump administration's argument that they have unilateral authority to impose tariffs at on any country at any rate at any time for any reason is extremely broad, and the Court of International Trade was very skeptical of that and, of course, ruled in our favor. We think the Federal Circuit Court of Appeals will do the same thing, and if this case gets before the Supreme Court, we also think that we will be successful there.
Jeffrey Schwab, Victor Owen Schwartz, thank you so much. It's great to have you on the program.